It's time for Making a Living with Maggie Mistel, one of the nation's best-known career coaches. Ready to soul search, research, and job search into your ideal career? Career Happy Hour starts now.
Hi, and welcome to Making a Living with Maggie. I'm Maggie Mistel, excited to be with you, helping you do work you love. That's right. And I want to get you excited about possibilities that are available to you now. There are actually more possibilities, even though we've got some layoffs happening and, but I'll tell you, there's record numbers of job openings, and the possibilities for you, whether it's a career change or an industry change, or even just a refresh, right, of where you've been and what you're doing. It's a really great time for that. I can tell you that for a fact. I'm working with a lot of people who, some are making changes because they've chosen it, others not because they chose it, but they're finding that the possibilities are really opening up. So they are for you too. So I'm excited you're here. And one way you open up opportunities is to network. And I like to take my own advice. So I went to a networking event recently from my university. I'm a class of 95 grad from Villanova. And our values are unitas, veritas, caritas. Unity, truth, and love. And I really applied this to career in terms of my own values. And for me, unifying with your soul as you choose a career path is so crucial, right? I even did a podcast about your soul agenda, right? So that's really important. Verifying your heart is really in the work you do, right? Be honest with yourself. Is your heart really in it? That's your veritas. And then caritas, or caring for others by using your talents to be of service. There is one exercise when my clients do soul search where they create a purpose statement for themselves. And one of the questions is, who or what are you here to help? That's one of the questions. Because I'll tell you, when you do this unitas, veritas, and caritas approach to your career, and say we all do it, wouldn't that be nice? The world is a better place, I believe, when we all do work we love, right? Think about going about your day and every interaction, the person delivering that service or providing that product or just interacting in life is so happy because they're doing work they love. It's unified with their soul. It's truth to their heart, and they're there to be of service with it. I mean, beautiful. So it's all perfectly created. So it's actually your duty to follow your dreams, okay? And do work you love. And that's one of the best ways you can make the world a better place. Well, speaking of careers and being passionate, I'm excited to share that I was recently featured on Yahoo Finance in the column by Carrie Hannon, who is an amazing author in the career space and columnist there. And she and I did a career Q&A about passion and finding passion in your work. So I'll put a link in the show notes in case you missed that. And I shared insights from my new book, Are You Ready to Love Your Job? So you'll get some insights there too. Well, today my guest is someone who is following his dreams and doing work he loves. And he left a corporate career of 20 plus years to do that. So this isn't just theory, people. This is practice, right? In reality, it's taking these concepts and making them real in your life. I also am so excited to report that another client just landed a job at her dream company, her chosen company, the chosen employer, the one when we first talked early on her soul search, she said, if I could work anywhere, this is the kind of company I'd work for. And she said this particular company. And guess what? She just negotiated her job offer there. So this is not just theory. This is practice, and it can be your reality too. I feel like we're at an inflection point where we're really addressing the inner critic within us, the part of us that tells us no, or stop, or you're not good enough, or you're not capable. It's that part of us that is that wet blanket, right? That you might have a great idea and then it tells you the 20 different ways why it won't work. Okay? It might be a protection mechanism, perhaps. I also think it's an opportunity. I think this is a chance to conquer our fears. I think that's what the inner critic is there to help us do, is conquer that fear that we're not good enough, conquer that fear that we're not capable, and actually show ourselves we're more capable than we realize. And so I wanted to ask you, right? Do you find that you have inspired ideas one day about your career and then the next you find yourself poking holes into all of them? Does your heart, desire to make a career move, but your head thinks it's a bad idea, right? I hear that a lot too. Like, oh, my heart, I'd love to do X, Y, Z, but my head tells me all these different reasons why it can't work. Do you feel stuck or indecisive? These are all signs of what we call a career block, okay, in the career space. And what's a career block? Well, it's natural to have various parts of our personality, right? Heart and mind, I like to call them, right? And when these parts are in conflict or not working together, they can actually block us from moving forward. So, for example, I see it many times when people want to go through a change and they're ready to move forward, but then they're holding back and afraid at the same time, okay? So maybe you've noticed this. Maybe there's some block or fear or issue that's surfacing for you, and it seems like your heart and mind aren't working together. Well, there are things you can do. And one of them is an exercise called voice dialogue. And this is something that I want you to know about because it's really powerful and it's really helpful. I've gone through it twice myself at different points in my own career when I had a career block. And this process was created by Hal and Sidra Stone, and it was part of my original coaching certification 20 years ago. And at that time, the instructor told us, clients will thank you for this exercise. And boy, was she right. The voice dialogue is an exercise I've done with almost everyone I have worked with since launching my coaching practice way back in 2002. Okay, so you're not alone if you have a career block or an inner critic that's holding you back, okay? And I've done this exercise and with all these clients over the years, and they've all said the same thing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And why are they thanking me? Well, the inner critic or career block takes a lot of energy, right? Our inner dialogue spends so much time back and forth and back and forth. And when you do the voice dialogue, you free up all that energy to be used in helping you move forward in a way that's really smart and informed. Because the inner critic isn't fully bad, right? It can actually give us constructive criticism that helps us make our idea better. And so when that heart and mind work together, so when the mind helps create the heart's desires in a smart way, that's the beauty. If the mind is often running, telling the heart to stop, you can't follow your heart's desires, that's not working together, okay? You cannot tell your heart to stop the desires that it has. It's actually your source of wisdom for what you're really here to do. And with the voice dialogue, what we do is we actually dialogue with the various parts or aspects or feelings to help you work through your block. So there's no side is blocking another side or no part's blocking another part, right? And we talk about, well, what's your goal with this process? Do you want to overcome the block or understand it or move forward? And it really helps people to identify, what would I like to have happen here? And then as a facilitator, I basically take the person through a conversation of thought-provoking questions where we give each part a voice, right? That's the dialogue, right? We dialogue with them. We ask them these questions. We see what they need from each other, what they want to give to each other. And then I summarize the whole thing. I'm a very fast typer. And we finish with the visualization, right? Using symbols to represent the parts to help integrate them. It's really powerful. And it might sound like a different concept, like, really? This thing is a block that I have? My inner critic's not always right. It's like, no, you are capable and you can make your dreams happen. You might need to overcome this block in order to do that. So you could free up all that energy to take the criticism, use it constructively and still move forward. And clients, when they go through this exercise with me, some experience an immediate feeling of resolution, while others, for others, the exercise is more of a time release capsule and resolution happens over time. But they've all thanked me for the voice dialogue because they no longer feel stuck in an endless negative inner dialogue. And that's when the inner critic is not okay. And that's the fear I want you to conquer, okay? You are not here to be a victim of your own inner critic, right? Where you're so stuck that you can't ever go anywhere. That's not what life is about. This is an opportunity to conquer your fears, understand these parts, understand the positives in the criticism, take the constructive aspects of it, and use it to make your dream even better. And go forward. You're meant to go forward with your dreams. That's why they're in your heart, okay? They weren't just placed there by accident. I don't believe so. I believe you came here to do something very important. And your heart reminds you of that. We say it in our language all the time. My heart sings when I do this. Those are all clues to the wisdom that's in your heart. And your brain is here to help make those dreams a reality, not be a blocker. And that critic is not meant to be a blocker. As Norman Vincent Peale put it, I'm a big fan of his too, quote, stand up to your obstacles and do something about them. You will find they haven't half the strength you think they have, end quote. So if this sounds good to you and you would love to go through a voice dialogue, contact me. I'll put a link in the show notes. You can email me at maggie@maggiemissile.com. And if you're feeling stuck, it might just be this career block that's holding you back. So up next, a client who addressed his own inner critic and is now moving forward with a new career. Stay tuned for more right here on Making a Living with Maggie. Are you having a hard time finding enlightening and inspiring content on TV and online? What if I told you there was a streaming service that offered a huge variety of healthy cooking shows, meditations, yoga, documentaries, movies, and more? Gaia.com offers the largest online resource of consciousness-expanding videos, over 8,000 informative and enlightening films, original shows, yoga and meditation classes, and more that you won't find anywhere else. Check out the online free trial available at Gaia.com. Watch on any device. Use the same account and membership for TV, desktop, and all mobile devices. Plus, you can download videos to your device to watch offline later. Gaia produces dozens of exclusive original series on topics you won't find in the mainstream media, on the nature of the universe, ancient wisdom, the unexplained, alternative healing, and more. Watch, transform, belong at Gaia.com. Matt Stein is a luxury travel advisor. His company, Unique Luxury Travels, believes luxury travel focuses on personalized and customized experiences instead of how much something costs. Matt started his business in the summer of 2022 after spending more than 20 years working in television news. Born and raised in Westchester County, New York, Matt wanted to spend more time with his family after living across the country during his award-winning career in journalism. Longtime friends find his new career choice ironic because Matt feared flying until traveling to London in 2015 to watch his beloved New York Jets play at Wembley Stadium. Since then, Matt's been to 30 countries. A few of his favorites include England, Australia, Argentina, and Germany. Matt enjoys working his hobbies into travel, which includes sports, history, art, breweries, wine, and finding the best pizza and steak in the world. Welcome to the show, Matt.
Thanks, Maggie. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of fun things to talk about, including your own career transition. So thanks for being here to inspire others. 20 years in TV news, winning awards, and then you make a change. How'd you know it was time for a change for yourself, Matt?
I was lucky because I went into a career that I loved doing. I was so passionate about TV. I was so passionate about news and kind of crafting shows together. That's how I started. That's what I did for so long. And I stopped loving it after a while. It took 20 years, but that passion, that joy that I had when I started, it wasn't there anymore. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't fake it anymore. Mm-hmm. So, it was hard to admit, it was hard to realize, but eventually I did. And I knew it was time for a change. It wasn't a time to change, TV stations or jobs at a station. It was time for a full out change and to really find something that I'd love again for the next 20 years.
Are you happier? Is the grass actually greener now?
I'm definitely happier. People who've known me for a long time, they all comment about how much more I smile, how much more I laugh, how I just seem to have the weight of the world off of my shoulders. So there's definitely a lot more joy to my life again. Is the grass greener? I don't know. Maybe I can answer that in a few years when I really got a much stronger foundation and, some of those business decisions start to, bear fruit. Right now, it's, there's some nerves and a little bit of worry with that. But even with that, I do know from hearing from my friends that I am happier. I am more pleasant. All of those things that, you want to be in life, I'm finally starting to see them.
That's awesome. And so you did, take something that was personal, make it more professional. And so are you enjoying learning the business aspects of luxury travel?
I am. It's always something new and it's always something unique. And that's one of the reasons I went into luxury, because everyone who's taking luxury vacations wants it catered specifically to them. And, going back to my old career in news, one of the great things about news is it's a different day every day. You never know what you're going to be telling people, what you're going to be reporting on. And now I never know the requests that are going to be coming in, or just how personalized someone is going to want in their next journey, the experiences they want. I mean, we can all go to the same city and have 20 different ideas as to the best way to enjoy it. So that's really something that I love doing, and helping people be able to bring that to life for them.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So business and fun kind of combined in a really smart way. So I can tell people, Matt, because you were really fast at your transition, lightning speed, I would call it, from setting up your new business to getting credentials, because I know that was a big part of it, and completing different trainings. Mm-hmm. Some required just some that you wanted to beef up on, marketing your new business, right? There's a lot that goes into it.
Right.
What was the most difficult part, would you say, of kind of leaving that place where you'd been so successful for 20 years, starting something new with all this new stuff? Here you are moving so fast. Was it easy? Was it hard? What was challenging about it?
The hardest part is probably the marketing. And it's weird because when you get to the top of the news industry, you have to market the product a lot. And I was like, oh, well, I have a marketing background from doing that. But with the news, there are only so many stations people are going to tune into, or so many websites they're going to go to. And you kind of have your audience already. You don't have to branch out as a new organization. And that's really what I'm being forced to do right now. I'm enjoying it, but that is something that is very new to me, is the marketing myself and what I'm able to bring you, compared to just, oh, here's this product of the news of the day, and how we're going to tell it to you differently than the other guys, or in a better way than the competition. It's really all about the unique services, the personal service, the customization, the personalization that I can bring to my travelers. And, I don't like to talk about myself really. And you kind of have to do that in this to get people to want to work with you. And that's something that's been a little bit of a challenge for me, and kind of works into that marketing aspect of being different and being a little harder than I probably expected. As I made the change over the summer, I want people to see, and I want to be able to prove, compared to, words. It's actions speak louder than words in my world.
You've taken the plunge, right? 'Cause you did leave TV news. You're no more ties there, right? Full on
None.
Into your own business. None, right? Look at that smile.
I barely watch it now. I'm one of those people.
Right. Like, I lived it for so long. I'm good. What advice do you have for others who are considering a career transition themselves?
Don't be scared. And that's probably, not probably, but that's something you really helped me understand. When you and I first connected, all I knew was news. All I knew was television, or the world of mass communication. And I was like, oh, well, maybe I can do PR. Maybe I should do PR or media relations, something like that. And you could tell that just wasn't what I was really wanting to do. It was just something that I thought, well, I had the skill sets for. And the hardest part was really saying to myself, okay, I've got to find something different. I've got to do something that I'm going to love and be passionate about. And just because it doesn't seem like it's a possible career, that I shouldn't do it. And I remember, the ideation with the different things that we looked at as I made the transition out of news. And I was like, well, I can't turn a passion for travel and history and sports and drinking and food and art into a career. How am I supposed to do that? They're all such different things. And, sometimes you get so stuck seeing the big the small picture, maybe, instead of the big picture, or you get so much tunnel vision as to, well, this is what I can do and this is what I can't do. And that was, for me, the hardest part, was being able to get out of that. And as I say, you really helped me be able to do that and open my horizons a little bit, to not just go, well, that's a career that I've heard of, or that's a job that I've heard of, and taking what I love and, the things that I'm naturally good at and being able to combine it into a potential job, now a career and a business of my own. I never thought I'd have one of those. So, sometimes I think it's just getting over your own fears.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think that's why the lightning speed of your transition was so impressive, because it is scary to put yourself out there in a new way. And I took 4 years, to be honest, to make my transition as a business owner. I did take a day job that wasn't my ideal, but I was like, well, it pays the bills and I'll slowly build it. And that's another option that people can take. There's no right or wrong. But just to be able to dive in, right, and immerse yourself. And you had been traveling personally on this luxury scale for such a long time. It wasn't, at all unnatural. It's almost like you were freed up to do the type of stuff that you'd had ideas for. And now you're like, well, now I have an avenue for all this information and these interests that I have that I didn't have before.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned a minute ago, based off of, something we talked about a while ago, 30 countries. I think, I'm closer to 40 now, possibly, because I'm able to, I have the time. It's my job to go and travel and explore these places so that other travelers can do it too. And, working in television, unless you're, Tom Brokaw or Katie Couric or one of those people, you're not making a ton of money. And I was able to travel in luxury anyway, because it's so much more than just money. I know something that's really popular, and it's the way I was able to travel for the longest time, especially above my means, was utilizing miles and points with credit card companies and transferring them over. And I love helping people do that. So it doesn't have to always be about money. And some of the best experiences that are luxury or are unique, they're almost free. They're just, no one knows about them because no one takes the time to learn about it. I mean, I was in Copenhagen over the summer and had this amazing private tour of the top of a church from the roof. And you can see the 360, of all of Copenhagen and miles away. And, I posted it on social media, and someone said, how do you manage to do this? I can't imagine. I can't, I don't have the money to do this. And I said, Bill, literally this tour that I'm on right now is free. It's just, you have to know to be at this location at this exact time on this day, and you can go on it too. So, unique and luxury really can be combined, even if you don't have the money that you might think you need for it. You can take advantage of so many experiences and make them into, once in a lifetime memories, bucket list destinations, all of those things that you see people posting about and talking about. You can do it. You just sometimes need someone to help you get there.
Yeah, well, you're leading the way for sure. And I think that's really fun because, at the end of the day, to start a business that you're passionate about, you want to be able to share that passion. And it seems like that's a really great example. Well, you did already share this a unique location, or at least a unique experience. But I wanted to ask, because we all are padding our bucket lists, aren't we always, right? Mm-hmm. So since you've made 30 to now 40 countries and you've been doing more travel since you started this business, I think travel can be a great way to conquer our fears, like it did for you, right?
Yeah.
Traveling. So the
Jets won that game, by the way.
Wow,
so
which is even more of a miracle.
Not something we're used to saying as Jet fans.
That's right. No, I think it's great. The Jets are on their way up, so maybe, there's even more travel with them sometime. But what is there another unique location that you can share that you think, wow, this is something that might not be on a lot of people's radar, but it's something you would say put on your bucket list?
I think South America, and the Patagonia region in Argentina and Chile. And I know they're becoming a little bit more popular, but it's not something, they're not places that are really top of mind for travelers here in the US. We go to Europe, we go to Asia,
Well, especially when people think luxury, that's what they think, right? The European river cruise, traveling all the way to Asia, Japan, these beautiful cities.
Mm-hmm. And Emirates First Class or Singapore Airlines.
Right. Singapore Airlines, right.
And those are all great. Trust me, I know I've done them. They're fantastic. The Patagonia region, though, has so much luxury in terms of both experience and destination. What I mean by destination is you have some of the best resorts in the world there. And they're almost, I don't want to say they're empty because they're crowded for what they are, but they only have 10 to 15, 20 rooms maybe. So you really have that personal service. Everyone there knows you by first name. And by the end of the first night, they know exactly what you like and what you want and the things that you're going to be interested in. They cater it to you. And I mean, I've been lucky enough to see so much of the world, and nothing took my breath away like Argentina did. Patagonia, seeing the glacier, Mount Fitzroy. And while this is in the northern part of the country and not Patagonia, but Iguazu Falls, it's just an amazing location. And again, it's different than what people here generally do. And you can get, again, where luxury can also not always have to equal a lot of money, because Argentina is not as popular for a lot of people, or Chile, the prices are really reasonable a lot of the time when you want to go there. I had one of the best steak and wine dinners I've ever had, and it cost me $15 US. I can't get a bottle of water in New York City here for $15.
For $15, yeah, right.
So I really think South America is a location that's unique because not a lot of people have been there, and there's plenty to do.
Yeah, wow. Opening our travel world. That's great, Matt. So where can people find out more about you, your story, your travel business?
Best way is probably my website, which is, and I'll try to speak slowly so that it comes out properly because it's hard for me to speak slowly.
I'll put in the show notes too, but go ahead.
All right. UniqueLuxuryTravels.com. That's the name of my company, Unique Luxury Travels, and it's also the website. And once you get to the website, there are links to my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter, my YouTube. It's got stories about places I've been. There are guides for destinations, things to see, ways to travel. So that's probably the best way. It's got my email. It's got my phone number. So UniqueLuxuryTravels.com is really the best way to learn more.
Well, thank you for being here today to share your own transition. Any parting thoughts for career-wise for people out there who are maybe on the fence? Anything else you want to leave people with?
I think you need to follow your heart. We all worry about money. We all worry about change and are we going to succeed? And it's easy, I think, to let those hold us back. If you don't love what you do, it's not going to be enjoyable. So, you really follow your heart and make sure that is leading the way if you plan on making a career change.
And now it's time for your career tip. This one is about making time in your busy schedule to create the career you really want. I often hear, I really want a career change, but I'm too busy to focus on it. In fact, making the career change a priority is one of the key reasons my clients hire me. Many have tried on their own to make a change, only to find that other priorities continue to take precedence over their career needs and goals. Before they know it, years have passed and they are still in the same unsatisfying career. It all seems hopeless. It's not. Time is your most precious resource. Once it's used, it's over. Yet most people will give you 5 minutes more freely than they'll give you $5. You can always make more money. This is why I don't recommend finding time to change careers. I recommend making the time for what's most important to you. Until you make your career happiness an important priority, you will never find enough time to make the career change you seek. To help, here are some key ways to help you focus on making the time for your ideal career. Start with 1 hour. Start by taking 1 hour once a week at a time that is convenient for you. Use that time through the tips in my book and start to put them into action. Even at 1 hour per week, you'll get further and faster in your career change than if you took no action at all. Next, put time in your calendar. I tell my clients, just like you schedule meetings or vacations on your calendar, block time each week to focus on your career. What's in your calendar tends to get done. So take time every Tuesday night or any night to work on your career change and put off the Netflix binge for another time. Use your time off. If your job is just too demanding and takes all of your energy, consider taking a short-term leave of absence or using personal or vacation time to focus on career change. This might seem extreme, but for some, it's the best way to make the time. One of my clients, a mother of twins, could not find time and started with just 20 minutes a night. Every night after the kids went to sleep, she worked on her soul search. After just 1 week, she felt she accomplished more than the prior 6 months. And nothing breeds progress like making progress. Also, take my client, Elisa. She was working 70 hours a week in a job she didn't enjoy. Sound familiar? In fact, it was affecting her health, not just her happiness. Working with me, she realized she needed a break. Moving on from this career needed focus. So after doing some research on the company website, she asked for a month off, a combination of unused vacation time and unpaid leave. Elisa made it easier on her manager by setting up a plan for the work to get done by several temporary workers who were already in the department. Her manager approved her time off, and Elisa not only got well, but also did a lot of the soul-searching tips recommended in this book. Together, we identified some other, less demanding career opportunities that would be of interest to Elisa. Taking that month off gave Elisa time to reflect on what was most important and research where she could go next. Today, Elisa still works hard, but in a career she enjoys without all the stress. To hear more tips like this, check out my new book, Are You Ready to Love Your Job? Make a great living through soul search, research, and job search. Available on Amazon, or check out the link in the show notes. Well, I'm sorry to say that we've run out of time. Thanks for joining. I'll be back next month. Here's a quote to keep you inspired from Orison Swett Marden. Whatever the soul is taught to expect, that it will build. Our heart longings, our soul aspirations are something more than mere vaporings of the imagination or idle dreams. They are prophecies, predictions, couriers, forerunners of things which can become realities. They are indicators of our possibilities. They measure the height of our aim, the range of our efficiency. Thanks for listening. I'm Maggie Mistel, your career coach, inspiring you to make a great living.
To understand more about how Maggie can help with your individual career needs and goals, contact her at maggiemistel.com or facebook.com/makingaalivingwithMaggieMistel. Together, we can all make a great living. Great living.